People say that I'm one of the greats, I'm the one that you love to hate. Shake 'em up like a quake, wipe your feelings and turn and dispose them like haters I throw away. I'm forever blessed, got the spirit that's holy controlling me, I ain't gotta coordinate. I just sit back and book my bills and I'm ready to blaze in the stars of my destination. Melted broadcast, open vision, melted broadcast, open vision, melted broadcast, open vision, melted broadcast, open vision.
What's going on, everyone? This is Tony Mars with the Melted Broadcast. Today's guest, Priestess Sekhmet, a gifted clairvoyant with over 75 documented prophetic dreams. She is also a psychic life coach with over 30 years experience in spiritual counseling. More recently, she has established an online personal practice that includes psychic readings and psychic life coaching for spiritual growth and personal development. Priestess focuses on guiding her students connect to the higher selves and develop a spiritual practice. Her very detailed psychic energy readings inspire students while giving them step-by-step guidance on how to bring more balance and personal power to their lives with her 4-point approach, the FIRM system. Her psychic life coaching lessons assist in removing mental, emotional blocks and generational patterns through meditation and mental programming, utilizing positive affirmations, energy work, and scripting. Priestess Sekhmet has published a book of her spiritual training techniques called the Psychic Power Book and 2 training guides on manifesting. The Pink Apple Project 1, a 21-day project for manifesting intentions, and the Pink Apple Project 2, Magical Mentoring, a 21-day video journey and guidebook on spiritual practice. These books are available through her online training courses on her website at priestesssekhmet.com. Welcome to the conversation, Priestess Sekhmet.
Greetings.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Okay. Sorry, this is my first time on Zoom and I don't know how long.
Now you're fine.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Goddess? What's your name?
Mary.
Mary.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you and have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. Mary and Tony.
Yes.
Okay. I almost thought I was having a vision of you all, but I think I did see a bit of one of your broadcasts. Maybe that's what I'm remembering.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was kind of trying to follow you on YouTube and here and there. And maybe in the process, I saw YouTube, but I definitely know that this is a divine connection. I'm super excited about this recording. I'm not going to keep you guys, but yes, I have some stuff to share.
Wonderful.
Also, even, today's 4/4/24, which I didn't even realize we set that date.
Yeah. It's been divine, everything, divine timing for sure.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump into it. So Priestess Sekhmet, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm a psychic life coach and spiritual trainer. I do have an online practice where I teach people how to master their energy, how to balance both hemispheres of their brain, their divine masculine energies, their divine feminine energies, and then create a holy trinity by bringing those two together and then bringing forth the Holy Child, which is our creation. Okay. So I've been doing that online since 2015. And then before that, I've been operating as a priestess my entire life. So I don't know.
Okay,
I probably do better at answering questions than I do about really telling people about myself. So I apologize. This is literally my first interview.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Okay, so at what age did you start having these gifts?
I go back to about the age of 17 because I specifically asked for this gift when I was in church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was at a shut-in and they were talking about the story of Jesus, and they were talking about how he met the woman at the well. and how he told her all about herself. And then also about Zacchaeus, who was in a tree. And so these people, when Jesus told them about themselves, they were enlightened, and it developed a connection between them and God, or them and their higher self. And it was just something like, I knew I was called to do it. And so I said, Lord, this is the gift that I want to have. I want to be able to tell people the truth about themselves to help them connect to God. Because I already knew within myself that the thing that keeps us from connecting to God is knowing the truth about ourselves, or coming to the truth. And so coming to the truth is really coming to Christ. So that's kind of where it came from. About 2 weeks after that happened, a lady came up to me and she asked me if I would pray for her. And immediately I knew what she wanted me to pray for. And Spirit told me to tell her what she was struggling with, which was a spirit of lust. And being young, only 17 years old, this lady was old enough to be my mother. I couldn't say it. And I was just like, okay, yeah, I can pray for you. And then she says, I've been struggling with a spirit of lust. And I was like, oh, this was my chance to come forth. This is the first opportunity for me to do this. And I already knew what the Spirit was telling me to tell her, which was to go on a fast for 3 days. And so I just went along with it. I didn't tell her, what was going on with me in the moment, but I did tell her to fast, and she felt good with that. And I moved on from that. And from that moment, I felt like Spirit was telling me, listen, when we tell you to speak, you need to speak. Don't be afraid. Don't hold back. Just go with it. And so it took a long time, but I learned to go with it. And then in 1997, that's when I had my first major vision through a dream. And that was about the 2 big UFOs and the alien invasion. And so that's where things really kicked off. And that was probably almost 10 years later.
Okay, so you said that she approached you at church. So what kind of religious faith was it? And if you still have that faith, or
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got saved in the Apostolic Church on
okay,
June 7th, 1987. I was baptized, filled with the Holy Spirit and fire. Went on to study the Word of God, read the Bible entirely 2 times, studied it for over 20 years, have developed a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And it's because of that relationship that I do the work that I do now. I consider myself one of Jesus' most faithful disciples.
that's
A lot of
awesome.
people don't know it because I use the tarot, but what a lot of people don't understand about the tarot is that it is the Torah. It is the word of God in pictorial form.
Yeah,
And when you use it properly, you have a truth-telling device to connect you right into your higher self, into divine truth. And this is what they do not want. They
yeah,
do not want us. You could read anything. You could read tea leaves. You could read cracks in the wall. You could read coins. You could read whatever the Spirit wants you to read to be able to connect to that truth. And it's that truth at the end of the day that we're connecting to. And so I've learned not to allow anyone to block me or to stop me from
yeah.
speaking that truth. And I honestly do feel like today, like the people that are going to be hearing this message are going to be truth tellers, people
Oh
that
yeah,
feel inspired and motivated to speak the truth. And everything what I've gone through has been part of my story to be able to encourage people to stand up against all adversity and to speak that truth. Because not speaking my truth caused me to have many downfalls and serious losses, extreme loss. I lost everything. I lost my children. I lost my marriage. I lost my family. I lost my
uh,
home. I was homeless most of those years. So that 10 years later, I went through a lot in those 10 years from 1987 to 1997, and then from 1997 to 2007. And so in 2007, that's when Christ came in and showed me the real truth that I was not willing to accept before, because I was programmed through religion and through my pastors and
yeah,
through the elders. They didn't want me to see the numerology in the Bible. They didn't want me to see the astrology in the Bible. They didn't want me to see the prophecy in the Bible. They didn't want me to see those things. They didn't want me to see the demons in the church, but that's a whole other story.
maybe another episode we could definitely get into that for
Yeah, for
sure.
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, I was wondering because I saw the Jesus candle in the background, so I thought, okay,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely.
So let's go to your tarot readings. I was wondering, so I've listened to a lot of your episodes. So
Oh,
whenever
thank
you're
you.
doing these readings, just looking at the cards, like how do you get the information that you get? Like, is it channeled?
I channel my higher self.
Okay.
And I hear clairaudiently and telepathically from my angels, my ancestors, and my higher self. So when I speak about Jesus and I speak about the Lord and I speak about Christ and I speak about God and all these things, I'm speaking about my higher self. And so I learned to identify that voice in the beginning. And so now, after all the training that I had through those 20 years before I started doing the tarot in 2007, I could already hear. So I could already follow the signs. I could already move and shake with spirit and understood and knew how to hear from my internal self. And so when I look at the cards, I just keep doing that, but it's a more direct message and it gets me out of the way. Because before I was doing tarot, I was so confused because I was listening to these people and I wasn't sure. And I was listening to those people and I wasn't sure. I was listening to myself and I had to really learn to listen to myself first. But then when I started getting into the tarot, I started getting corrected. And so
Okay.
I started learning how to, yes, you listen to yourself, but also yourself is not always right. Yourself is wrong sometimes, and you need to be able to see the truth about yourself. And so that's how I started doing the tarot, just only for myself. And so I did that for many years. Again, it seemed like it was almost from 2007 to 2014, just me and the
Okay.
tarot, just doing readings for myself, learning how to walk in the way and stay in the way, develop good boundaries so that people that had spirits, I used to give them a chance, like I gave my people in my life. I'm not going to name any people, but all those years, in church, I gave a lot of my confidence to people. I gave a
Yeah.
lot of my trust to people, my respect, everything to people, even though inside myself was saying, this person have a demon, this
Yeah.
person is full of this evil, full of that evil, but they didn't want me to trust myself. They didn't want me to believe they were gaslighting me, all of them, basically. And they're saying, don't trust yourself. Don't believe what God is telling you inside. You believe what we tell you. And I did that. That's how I lost everything. I did it. But then I had to learn to stop doing that and learn how to trust myself. So
Yeah.
then from 2007 to 2014, I developed a good connection with my higher self and with my angels. And this opened up the whole door for me to be able to discern what was happening to me in my dreams. Because what was happening to me in my dreams, it was still a lot of fear in my dreams. So it was my subconscious mind speaking to me through my dreams, and I wasn't recognizing what was really going on.
Yeah.
So through the tarot, I learned how to decipher my dreams, how to decode my dreams, how to break down my dreams, how to realize that not every dream is a subconscious fear. Some of
Yeah.
this is actual attacks. Some of this is actual targeting going on. Some of this is actually technological manipulation, hijacking of people's dreams.
Yeah.
See, if people understood the power that our dreams truly have, they'll understand why we're never taught about our dreams. We're never told about our dreams. We're never asked to really focus on our dreams. We're not supposed
Yeah.
to take our dreams that seriously. But on the background, MIT, the government, the military, oh, they take it very seriously because they understand how the mind works, how it's a computer, and how these programs are running in the background, and how some of these programs are part of our dreams. They're programs.
Yeah.
And depending on how connected you are to spirit, will depend on what program's going to run. And some of those programs are our angels and our ancestors and the Most High uh, programming us to be able to operate in the system. It's an operating system program, downloads, things happening in the dream state.
Yeah.
And so they're prepping us and they're preparing us and they're saying, okay, in this reality, we see that the government and these other agencies and these other players want to run this program. So let's run another program that's going to counteract that program so that that program fails because it's a violation of our free will.
Yeah. It's
It's
kind
a
of like
violation. We don't
like
get to
computer
choose,
hacking.
right? Yes. So that was happening. And so I had to go through that from pretty much probably we could do another 7 years from 2014 to 2021. By 2021, completely free. Now I'm at that place in my dreams that I saw, I overcame that system. I broke out of the matrix.
Yeah.
I didn't participate in COVID or none of that stuff.
Yeah.
I saw that stuff, and that's what those dreams were all about, preparing me for COVID, preparing me for the lockdowns, preparing me for the injections, preparing me for people to try to take my rights from me.
Yeah.
But because me and you and others like us had other operating systems running in the background, in our dreams, we were being prepped and being strengthened and being, trained how to operate in that system so that when it happened, a whole nother energy was involved, one that they can't predict, one that they can't program because it's spontaneous. They will have to monitor everybody's dreams to make sure, and they do. That's what they do. They do that, but they still can't control it. The only way that they can control it is they have to control our minds. They have to control our thoughts. They have to do something to cause us to doubt or to fear our own dreams and not trust our connection with our higher self and not know what's actually happening with ourselves. And that, I think, is the biggest issue that people are having in the world right now, especially with programs like tyranny and control.
So speaking of that, you have a book. It's called Dreams and Visions of Our Future, the opening of the seven seals. And actually you have 73 of them. And actually marked down two of them. Speaking of what you spoke on, number 34, Dreams of Forced Vaccinations, and number 4, White Tents and Lockdowns, also being a false flag event. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, there was more going on with me than just dreams. So I had like dreams happening. Then I had the real life world, clairaudient, telepathic messages happening so that I would be reading certain books. I would be going to certain places. I would be getting a whole bunch of more information than just what I was getting in my dreams. And so when I started having these dreams, everything was just kinetically coming together. So I understood. For instance, I already knew by this point, by the time I had the lockdown dream, I already knew by this point about the medical mafia. And so that was on that list as well. It's called, I think, the White Coat Mafia or something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was the medical mafia until they actually appeared in the White House. A whole group of them came to the White House, all wearing white coats. And that's when I was like, that's them. And so I need to talk about that dream before I talk about the lockdowns, okay?
I'll go for it. Talk about it.
Okay, that dream, in that dream, this is how I started understanding our Constitution was at stake, America was at stake, and our freedom was at stake. And in that dream, I had a bullhorn, and I was standing on a street corner, and I was singing with all my heart in tears, America the Beautiful. This had to be somewhere in that dream phase I was having between 2004 and 2007, because the book was published in 2006. So I'm on the street corner and I'm singing America the Beautiful with all my heart. And it says, America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, is what I was yelling in there. And then I saw people, I was on the street and I saw people just walking by like they were mind controlled, and they were just walking like this past me, like I wasn't even there. And I just knew they're mind controlled. And then this group came by with these long white coats on, and they had these emblems on them. And they just walked past me, and I saw them. And I knew that they were mind controlling the people, but I didn't understand it was with pharmaceuticals until later when I saw them at the White House. And then I had also gone through the whole medical industry due to the stress that I was under with everything that I was going through all those years and all my life, being a targeted individual. So the lockdown dream came in. And in that dream, I dreamed that I was in my house and I was looking out the window, and the window was like not all the way up, but just kind of like up to here.
Yeah.
And then I was looking out the window, and a police officer pulled up right in front of my window, came to the window with the baton and knocked on it, put it down. And she told me, I was in lockdown. I couldn't come out the house. I couldn't even have my window cracked. I was under this tyrannical control of the government and being enforced by the police. So this is just another flash in the insight of all these insights. I was seeing large stadiums of people and crowds shouting USA, USA, but I wasn't understanding like how these pieces all fit together. And same thing with the forced vaccinations. I was in a hospital, and the nurse was the worst nurse that you could ever imagine. It's like a demonic possessed nurse. And she was getting ready to force me to take an injection. And then she dropped the needle on the floor. And then she just picked it up and just jammed it in my arm. And I could hear Spirit saying, never get an injection, never get an injection. So from that time, this is the early 2000s, I never had any injections, not a flu shot, not anything,
Yeah.
never. And so that's how those dreams went.
Okay.
The white tent dream, the same thing. Um, these were dreams where I was seeing people being corralled into uh, buildings. In that particular dream, people were being corralled like into parking lots. They're being forced by the government to um, be moved in totality.
Yeah.
Families herded into buildings. I had one dream where they put like a barbed wire fence around a whole apartment complex, and then they moved everybody into those complexes and forced them into apartments and gave them identifications and made them stay in the apartments that they gave them, 30 people, 20 people to an apartment. And in one of those, in that dream, the people in the apartment had cut a hole out of the door and made like a doggy door because no one had keys or anything. And you would just go in and out through that door. You would use the toilet in a bucket, and there was no food.
Uh,
There was no running water. Everyone was just looking out the windows, waiting, watching, wondering. And these white tents were all set up, and they were put out into these parking lots, and then people were forced to go in there and to work. And I was in there and I was watching, and someone said, "What's going on?" And I said, "This is the New World Order. This is the New World Order."
I wonder if that kind of ties into maybe like FEMA camps, or
Yes.
actually what's going on right now too with the people coming in from other countries and them housing them. Because I saw a video, I believe it was in California, and they're like, it's a long strip of a big white tent, and people
Yeah.
are just housed there.
Yeah. They set that up for COVID. So all of that was building up to COVID, but COVID failed. And so this is why I'm here. Because remember, I was like about 20 years ahead of the curve. So while everybody else was traveling and getting in debt and buying homes and enjoying their lives, I was homeless. I was destitute. I was getting everything taken from me. I was going through all the stuff that people started going through when COVID came. But because I went through it early and I learned how to get out of the matrix and I learned how to take control of my reality and I learned how to start manifesting, I got out of that whole rat race. And then I move into the next part of that curve, which everyone else is still coming behind me. They have
Yeah.
to go through all that stuff and learn how to overcome that, break out of the matrix. And then there's another curve coming around, which looks more like heaven on earth. And so, no, 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 no. Those people that are these immigrants that are coming in, it's coming, they're coming in for many reasons.
Okay.
One of the reasons that they're coming in is because of this lawlessness that has taken place. See, the man of lawlessness has already been here. And
Yeah.
while he was here, this is how all this stuff started getting built up and start taking place. How we see Luciferianism and Satanism taking over the entertainment, taking over the minds of our children,
Yeah.
this whole generation. This was all set up while he was here. and his administration is still in power right now. Okay, but only in as a facade. It's not truly, they're not truly in power anymore. We're past that. So those people that are coming in now, they're challenging Americans to enforce their way of life. See, because Americans have taken it for granted. Remember with the bullhorn, I'm out there and the people are just mind controlled and they're not paying attention. And while they're doing that, these other players are coming in and they're taking over because Americans have been too lax and not appreciating the freedom and what this country actually means. So now they have to learn to stand up for themselves because they're free will agents here. They have a right, they have an inheritance, they have benefits, they have their own God-given entitlements that the government can't give you.
Yeah.
And so now they just have to learn that. And so they're going to get pushed up against the wall until they take it back what's theirs. And that's just the way that this reality works.
It just makes me think of when you're talking about the bullhorn, like these people just walking by like zombies, and you're like blowing this bullhorn.
Yes.
For some reason, it just makes me think like you're shooting like a ray of vibration at them, like wake up, wake up.
Yeah. Yes.
That's pretty cool.
And we all were doing that, right? That the truth tellers, it wasn't just me, right? A lot of us were being programmed in our sleep, whether we were having dreams or not even remembering those dreams. I promise you, if you have Christ in your heart and in your mind and in your spirit, oh, those programs are running. They're constantly running. Those operating systems, you guys are out there speaking your truth, waking up the people. You're doing it vibrationally, yes. And we're all doing it together. And we saved the planet. So we actually can rejoice right now while they're watching the horror show, biting their fingernails, wondering what's going to happen to them. Yeah, they might have to lose it all.
Well, we're all here trying to do it, but we can't do it with people like, without people like you. So
you're so passionate. I love
we
it.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Priestess.
Thank you.
All right, so let's jump in. I had a couple questions about two other dreams. And this is off topic. Number 68, dream of reptilian man and alternate realities.
Yeah. Well, that reptilian man, it must have been such a horrendous dream. I can't even really pull too much out of that. I just made a note of that one because I know that I saw him. I saw a man laying on a table, looked just like a regular human being. And then I saw them cut open his flesh, and then underneath there was a reptilian man. So what did I mean by reptilian man? I mean that he had scales, and he had like a skin that looked like a snake.
Yeah.
Like that, those kind of like serpent scales.
Yeah.
And I started having all of these experiences at one time, starting to awaken me to this alternate reality. So the first thing I remember being asleep one morning in the bed, and then I felt a pressure come down on my bed, and I thought somebody was there, and I kind of moved, but I didn't quite wake up. And then I felt an arm come like this on top of me, just like a lizard would come like this.
Yeah,
I felt that the first one came down on the edge of the bed. It kind of woke me up, and then the second one came like this across my chest, and it was on me like that. And then I opened my eyes and I felt a whole lizard man on top of me, like a man-sized lizard. And then I felt him go, and he was trying to suck the breath out of me. And then I immediately went into Christ mode, and I was like, get off of me. And he just poofed. He just vanished. And I knew in that moment that I was being trained. I was being programmed how to respond to these things, because something about this particular time in between 2004 and I think it was 2012 was a thinning of the veils. And I think it had something to do with the Venus transit that was happening, because I can honestly say that between those transits, all these miraculous experiences began happening to me, and then they abruptly came to an end. I still have dreams and I still have my experiences, but nothing like I did in that time frame.
Yeah.
So that reptilian man, that part in the dream, I had another dream about the serpent people that are in the White House that work with the Secret Service. I've seen them.
I've seen pictures.
Okay.
Kind of like shapeshifters, where
Okay.
it's like a side profile, and like
Mm,
they just they look so twisted, and their teeth look
mm,
all jagged, and their ears
mm,
they look all
mm,
deformed, and they just
mm,
look unnatural.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In my dream, they had serpent tongues. They would go, and that's how they would let me know that that government was evil. And so I never voted. I never voted in none of these elections.
Yeah,
There's
me
only one
neither.
election that I voted for, and that was for Donald Trump.
Okay,
And I had a
awesome.
dream about him too.
Okay, what was that dream?
I just simply had a dream. I had one dream about Donald Trump, and I had a dream that he was on the golf course and he hit a hole in one.
And Donald Trump's gonna hit it. He's gonna hit those hole in ones.
He did it.
I actually saw a video where he actually hit a hole in one.
I saw that too, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
come
saw that
on.
too.
All right, so let's go to the next one. Dream number 50, the purple bird people,
Oh yeah.
Star
Mhm.
Family.
Yes. Yes, that's my favorite because these are dreams where my angels and my ancestors are coming to me and they're talking to me and reminding me who I am and what I am and why I'm here. So when you see these pictures of images of beings that have bird heads, that's because
Yeah.
we have an angels. That's where the whole angel idea is really coming from. I've never
Okay.
seen a human angel. Well, I take that back. I take that back. Let me take that back. If you heard about the demonic sodomite dreams, in the demonic sodomite dreams, those cherubim, or not those cherubs, those baby cherubs had wings.
I believe I listened to one of them.
And those are demons. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying that there's no humans ones. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that they are shapeshifters. Our
Okay.
ancestors are shapeshifters. Our ancestors are shapeshifters. And so this is another level of being that we haven't fully awakened to because our prototype of our being is a new being. So this being that
Yeah.
we are here is a new being that we're taking over. We're taking over
Yeah.
this level of being and we're raising it back up to the most high, to the higher levels of being. But
Yeah.
anyway, the purple bird people, um, in that dream, I remember I was in my mother's house. My mother's now deceased, and she's been deceased since I started having all of these dreams. But I was looking out the window and I saw two of our ancestors in a field having intercourse.
Yeah.
And
Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
all of a sudden, you want me to be graphic? I mean, do you want me to tell all the
Uh,
parts or
hey, this is your episode.
okay?
Speak what you how you want to speak.
I think that dreams are cryptic, and I think that every detail is important, and I think it means something. So it's important for me to be able to share them as much as possible. But they're there, and then they are having intercourse, and then the woman is on the bottom, and the man is on top, and then all of a sudden they stop, and then he slaps her one time, two times, and then three
Uh,
times he slaps her. And then she puts up her hand like, stop, like, okay, that's enough. Like he was supposed to do that. And so then when he got up, she stood up and then she went to a vehicle that was sitting there. And then in the vehicle, she just started shifting from one kind of wolf to another kind of wolf. She just went from
what?
this wolf to that wolf to this wolf to that wolf. So I sensed that these were my Native American ancestors on my mother's side. So it was my mother's
Okay.
house and it was her ancestors were the shapeshifters. And then mother came into the room with a message, and she had a piece of paper, and the note, it said, call the Arcturians. Call the
Okay.
Arcturians. And so I said, okay. So I went to the phone and I called them. And then the lady literally said, this is the Arcturians. And I said, did you want me to give you a call? And they said, yes, we need to see you right now. And I said, okay, I'm on my way. So then there was some guy that I was dealing with or talking to in this dream that I don't recognize. But I said, hey, I got to go see the Arcturians. Can you come with me? And he said, I'm not going to go see no aliens. And then I said, okay, well, I'll just go by myself then. And so I got on the bus, and I was looking out the window on the bus, and I looked over to the right, and I saw a big giant bird man. He had to be like about 7 feet tall, at least. His wingspan probably 6 feet wide, maybe, or 7 feet wide.
Yeah.
He had all purple feathers trimmed in gold, and he had a head and a beak like a hawk. And he was looking dead at me, and he was telepathically talking to me. And he says, I'm your guardian angel. I know where you're going. Don't be afraid. I'm with you at all times. If you need anything, just call me. And I just knew it. I was like, okay, good. And then I looked out the window and I saw this lake, and it was the first dream I had at that time that wasn't a tsunami or a flood or something. It was just a peaceful lake, just pristine, just peaceful lake. And I looked at it, and then this bird was right there next to me, and he just started shape-shifting, different kind of bird, different kind of bird, different kind of bird, shifting, shifting. And I was like, okay, the ancestors are with me.
Yeah.
And I don't remember getting to see the Arcturians, but that was that dream.
It's so crazy because like other people that we've interviewed, they describe these bird people in the exact same way, same
Ah,
colors, same features.
ah,
So I mean
woo.
that's pretty cool.
I want to, please send me the link, because I did so much searching in those days trying to find somebody that knew what I was talking about.
Yeah. Well, we're
So
gonna have to
listen,
yeah, we're gonna have to link you up with
please,
our buddy Parsi from
Yeah,
Australia.
Parsi. Hmm.
Marcy. Okay, because
Yeah,
I
his.
had another one too. I had another one where, now this is where I see more of them. So this is where I actually see my family. So in this dream, it looks more like heaven. It looks like a earth, but it looks like peace on earth. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like this world we have, this concrete jungle. It's
Yeah.
all nature. It's all natural. And everyone is sitting outside like it's a party or a picnic all the time, and just having fun and just talking and laughing and enjoying each other's company. And my dad is braiding my hair, but my dad is a white man, and he's braiding. And he says, guess what I have? And I said, what? He said, I have some chocolate today. I said, chocolate? I was like, you didn't say that? And he says, I have some. He says, you want to go get it? I said, yeah. So we go inside, and then he says, I got something else for you. And I said, what? He said, look. And then up there was a big giant bird cage, and it was golden, and it was a big purple bird in it. And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
that's so cool.
wow. Yeah, I was like, and he took it down, and then he
Can you still hear us?
and then she hugged me, and it was like I knew her. And
Yeah.
then we were hugging each other, and then she was singing. It says my internet connection is unstable.
No, that's fine.
Can you?
We'll fix it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we'll just cut.
Yeah.
We'll cut some stuff.
okay. Yeah. And so we all went outside to meet the other people. And then the little girl that I was holding, and then she just reached out for the next person, and then the next person just took her. And it was just like we're all family, all different colors, all different animals.
The all, the everything.
Yeah,
Me, you, us, all of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to jump in now, and this is where all heads to. The new world order dream,
Oh yeah.
where you astral projected into other realities and helped shift our timeline.
Yes. And that's important to know. that we have shifted timelines. So even though it might look like we're going in the New World Order, well, we went through it kind of. We went through it and we came out of it, but we're so close to it that it still vibrationally affects us, and we still have shadows and feelings from it. And we haven't totally come away from that reality yet, but we will soon, especially after this eclipse.
Yeah.
More so, not totally, because we still have a lot of people with fear, and they're learning about the New World Order now. And so they got to process all of that themselves. And because of that, they're going to manifest a lot of it still. And that's where it's coming from our past life memory, from deep embedded and coded programs that we've been exposed to through the media and through technology and satellites and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it has to process out of us until we cleanse and purge it completely from our systems. Then it'll cease to be all together. But this is what they didn't want. They didn't want us to know how to use our own technology and how to understand how reality works so that we could bypass them. They can't pull it off. They really wanted to do it in 2000 and it got pushed back. And then they wanted to do it in 2012 and it got pushed back. Then they tried to make us wait for 2030. It's not going to work. It's over. It's just over. But in this dream, I know I go out on tangents. I get carried away.
Go for it.
I really want the people to know that we control this reality, that this is our earth, this is our world, and that the way it's created and manifested is through our thoughts and our feelings and our intentions. And the only reason it's messed up the way that it is because we were fooled, we were lied to, we were controlled, we were manipulated to create this world that we're all coming to realize now it needs to be fixed. It needs to be corrected. And there's nobody that can do it except for us. And so that's what the issue is now, is that one by one, we all have to clear and purge and cleanse and get back in control of our reality individually. And then collectively, it's going to look a lot better down here.
Yeah.
But the New World Order dream came at a time in my life where I didn't know none of this stuff. I didn't understand that I was creating my reality. So I had to learn through these dreams. And in this dream, I woke up walking on a military base. And it looked like one of ours. In fact, at that time that I had this dream, I was telling it to a person I was working with at the time who used to be in the military, and he told me what base that was because he said he saw it too. It was in California. It was in Southern California. But anyway, in the desert. Anyway, so I'm on this base, and something tells me that I'm going to see a UFO if I look up. So I looked up, and then I saw this, what I looked like a UFO was on top of a building. And so I couldn't quite make it out because it looked so foreign to me that I couldn't describe what it looked like, because it didn't look like anything I've ever seen. It didn't look like a spaceship. It didn't look like anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
But it looked like a flying object or a device of some kind. And then I looked and I saw this big giant eyeball that looked like the CBS eye.
Yeah.
If you're old enough, you remember the CBS eye?
Oh, trust me, I know it.
Yeah, it looked like a big eyeball. Yes, but it was metallic. It looked like it was made out of metal. And when I looked at it, it wasn't facing me. It was turned around. And when I looked at it, it said zoop, and it turned towards me. And I saw it had the pupil like a camera, and it said trick, trick, and then it said zoop, and it zoomed in on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I looked away. Just naturally, I looked away because it scared me. And I was like, oh my God, like it's watching me. And then I looked back at it again, and it was turned around, and it wasn't facing me. But as soon as I looked at it, it turned back around and did the same thing. And I was like, oh my God, it knows I'm looking at it. Like it could read my mind. And then I went down some steps, and there was a guy dressed like a paramedic or something, like a military paramedic or something. And as soon as I walked towards him, he said, boop, and he karate chopped me right here. And just like, boop. And then I just lost all my mobility, and another guy caught me from the back, and they carried me and they put me inside of a paddy wagon, and they shut the door. And then I could see that there was a glass window in the cab. So I couldn't see through the window. I could just see my reflection. And then I heard this voice say, welcome to the New World Order. And that voice was so loud, it woke me up. And at that time, I was also hearing voices. And that's how I learned about V2K, voice to skull technology, because they literally were
Well,
messing with me.
we actually have, so we're in season 2 of the Mental Broadcast. Our opener is opening up tomorrow, April 5th, with Skits, the POK, and he's an experiencer and abductee with hybrid children. And he actually literally mentioned that the skull to the voice of
Yeah,
skull.
yeah. People need to be aware of that technology, because you start seeing a lot of people in society today doing things like shooting up these schools and shooting their
Yeah.
parents and all of this kind of stuff. And they're telling you that they're taking these psychotropic prescription medications, and they're hearing voices. So
Well,
there's something that needs to be looked into that. There was a guy, Isaac Cappy. Remember Isaac Cappy?
oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Rest in
convinced that
peace.
Isaac Cappy was being attacked with the V2K the day that he died.
Yeah, yeah. They said that he was going crazy,
Yeah,
and apparently he jumped off a bridge
yeah,
after he started exposing all these people, all these
yes,
elites on what's going on with the pedophilia ring and all that stuff
right,
and child sex
Yeah.
trafficking. And
yes,
and all of a sudden, he suicided himself.
right,
They're all there. Yeah, there's a lot of the people that I've noticed that are coming out. Everybody is accusing them. Oh, they're going on. They're having a mental breakdown, like Ryan Garcia.
yes,
He's one of them. He's
yes,
just alcoholic. He's just having a
yes.
mental breakdown, and
No,
they're just
no,
putting it off as that. And
that's
I
right.
think there's something more than that. That
No,
it just can't be that. It's
Yeah,
no,
because I mean, because they all like right before they
they're
they
exposing
suicide
people.
themselves. Of course, they're exposing all this information, but
yes,
it shows the same
right.
patterns.
Mm,
It's
You
all
know,
same story.
right.
I have stories too about that. That's the dream of the angelic sodomites. And I did a video
oh
on
yeah,
that, and I talk about why it's important that we understand this, because collectively we all share in that story. Either we were violated as children, or we know somebody that was violated as children, or someone in our family was violated. And they're
yeah,
saying now that it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. So I'm getting the messages that the reason we're all here right now is because we're all going to expose it, and we're going to correct it, and we're going to eliminate it as an issue in the human society. That's why
yeah,
it's important. And anyone that's not supporting that movement, shame on them.
yeah, for sure. Shame on you guys and girls.
Yes.
So I saw the picture that you drew of the New World Order
Yeah.
dream, and
Yes.
it was very interesting. You had the big uh I guess a robotic or mechanical eyeball,
Yes.
and then of course you had the military base, and then you had I saw skull and bones, the Star of David, and the swastika, which a lot of people who don't know, the swastika is not it doesn't deal with racism really. Even
Right.
the Zoroastrians in Persia, which
Right.
Mercy is,
Yes.
it's a
Okay.
symbol of the revolving sun, infinity, and
Yes.
continuing creation, and
That's right.
also deal people with Hinduism and
Yes.
Buddhism,
That's right.
are connected to it as well.
That's right. And this is important to note as well, because our symbols have been taken from us, stolen from us, and then used for evil, so that we don't recognize our symbols, and that we are stay away from those symbols. But that Star of David, if you want to call it that, that is our symbol. And
Yeah,
and the swastika, as you say, that is our symbol. These are our ancient symbols. And the all-seeing eye, that is our symbol. Okay,
just like
those are our symbols.
just like the late Jared Clark. He was somebody that I've always listened to. If you guys want to check him out, he's since passed, but he he took this as what he called a smear campaign,
Yeah.
just like with
Mhm.
the terrorist group ISIS,
Yes.
smearing the name Isis, the
That's
goddess
right.
Isis,
That's right.
the mother.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right. Or East or East,
Yeah,
It's
which is
just
exactly.
Isis, which is a feminine energy.
Yeah,
But that's exactly what they do. And they use religion, because we're all spiritual beings. We're all angelic beings. We
yeah,
all are souls,
yeah,
right? And so they want to, in the name of religion, use our symbols against us and then lock us into a false religious system so that we don't awaken to our true spiritual heritage, which is going to be coming out more and more as we turn around this bend. So we're in the forefront with the angelic beings and the spirit of Christ moving ahead, bringing out more truth of where we are heading. We're heading back around to the ancient paths and symbols, taking our symbols back, taking our story back, taking our heritage back as we ascend back up that spiral, as we return to source.
Yeah.
Return back to the truth. So we made it. They want to keep us stuck in a loop where we don't ascend and we just stay in that loop. It's like an escape room that you can't get out of it. But you need to see it that way, that these are all escape rooms that we're supposed to master and learn and then break out and go to the next level, break out and go to the next level. So I put those symbols on that painting because at the time, those were the symbols that they were using, even extraterrestrials, to fool us, to get us to accept a false reality where aliens are evil, aliens are bad. A lot of these aliens that people are seeing are actually clones that the government has made to create a fake alien agenda and story to keep us from our true ancestors off planet. We have ancestors off planet, but they won't reveal themselves until we do our work and we get to that level where we can accept that and understand them and do our work.
Awesome. So you offer a variety of classes, a 7-day mini magic course and a 21-day self-care journey, which I would love for you to talk about, but also you have a new book, the Psychic Power Book, a manifesting workbook available on Amazon.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that, really do. So I started doing tarot for the public, and then I started doing so many readings. I started realizing that I didn't really enjoy just telling people about themselves or telling people the truth about themselves. I wanted to give them a spiritual practice that they could actually do something with that information. So I started teaching them how to breathe, how to relax, how to focus, how to release, how to let go of negative emotions, how to let go of toxic energy, how to do it using the elemental forces of nature, the way our angels and our ancestors did with air, fire, water, and earth, which is also Yad-He, Vav-He, or Jehovah as they call it, but they're not talking about a person. They're talking about the creative forces of nature or creation, how we create. We create with our thoughts, feelings, and our emotions. And so I took all of that information and I started putting it together in a course that people can take. And that is the 7-day mini manifesting course. I teach them all about what I'm talking about now. And then the book, the Psychic Power Book, is actually the course material. So after telling the story, because this is what I do in my sessions, I do 1-hour sessions with people on how to get an energy reading, how to look at their energy. And then I give them advice on what they need to do to balance their energy, raise their vibration, focus on their intentions, and manifest their desires. But over and over again, through all these sessions, it made it easier for me to just put it into a course book for them. So that's what the Psychic Power Book is. It's a course book on manifesting. And so it's a wonderful book. It's an adult activity book. So it's more fun and more engaging than just reading about how to manifest. And I give you actual activities to do to prove to yourself that you are manifesting all the time. But when you put your intention and you set your intention into it, then you start seeing the real power that you have as creators. And so that's what they are. And then the 21-day self-care journey is about putting yourself first, taking out time for you, because that's your creative power, your creative ability is your ability to master your own self, master your own energy. And you have to learn how to focus on you, how to be you, and how to do you consistently. And they say it takes 21 days to develop a habit. So we take those 21 days, we make journeys from them. And those journeys are all about living our best life, being our best self, and manifesting our best reality.
Awesome. All right. So before we wrap it up, if you would like, and I know you want to, let's go ahead and give everybody all your plugins, your Amazon, your X account. Let's get these people to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Come see me on Rumble, Priestess Sekhmet. On Rumble, I'm really working to get those videos out there, get all those dreams out there, and get some followers on there. I'm also on X, Twitter. It's Sekhmet's Temple on there. YouTube, we're not really pushing YouTube right now because I've been banned more than once on YouTube. I'm still trying to slide in there and still use the platform, for videos and whatnot. But if you want to add me on YouTube, I'm also Priestess 333 on YouTube. And you can always come visit me at priestesssekhmet.com. I'd love to do a reading for you and share divine messages from your angels and ancestors that are going to help you to get focused, get balanced, and see past, this fake reality matrix and see the truth of the powerful creators that we are.
Yeah. And go to Amazon, get that book, the Psychic Power book.
Oh yeah.
A manifesting workbook.
Please do. Yes.
Go get it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much, Priestess Sekhmet.
Yeah,
thank you so much for being here. And from everybody here at the Melted Broadcast, don't forget, stay melted.
Stay melted.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
People say that I'm one of the greats, I'm the one that you love to hate. Shake 'em up like a quake, pop your feelings and turn and dispose them like haters I throw away. I'm forever blessed, got the spirit that's wholly controlling me, I ain't gotta coordinate. I just sit back and buckle my bells and I'm ready to blast in the stars of my destination. Melted broadcast, open vision. Melted broadcast, open vision. Melted broadcast, open vision. Melted broadcast, open vision.